Seamus Heaney, 13th April 1939, 30th August 2013, stands as a central figure in modern poetry and was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1997. Often listed among the greats in contemporary literature, Heaney is recognized for his profound connection to Irish identity and his deep poetic insight. Although Heaney was born in Protestant-majority Northern Ireland into a rural Catholic family, he identifies as Irish rather than British. This duality of identity deeply informs his poetry. His works, such as Requiem for the Croppies and The Ministry of Fear, stem from the lived experience of his people. Despite his strong nationalist sympathies, Heaney's work avoids simplistic partisanship. Holding an Irish passport and living in the Republic, Heaney's voice remains unmistakably Irish, even as he participates in British cultural life. While Heaney writes in English, his poetic subjects are often Irish in nature and tone. His poems reference both Irish and British cultural symbols, London's Promenade concerts, BBC Radio's shipping forecast, and the British Army's presence in Northern Ireland, reflecting his place between two worlds. He served as Professor of Poetry at Oxford and became one of the most widely read poets in Britain. Heaney's early poetry won acclaim for its vivid evocation of rural life. He captures the rhythms of his farming upbringing in poems that reflect his childhood and family life. Despite his education at Queen's College, Belfast, Heaney remained closely connected to his rural roots. In his famous poem Digging, he contrasts his ancestors' use of spades with his own use of a pen, metaphorically digging into Ireland's deep and layered history, Gaelic, Viking, and prehistoric. Over time, Heaney expanded his subject matter to include political issues and literary inheritance, always with careful attention to language. Though he addresses the Northern Irish conflict, he avoids reducing poetry to politics. In Punishment, for example, Heaney draws a parallel between a body found in a Danish bog, thought to be a sacrificial victim, and a woman executed by Republican punishment squads. Biblical references such as cast stones and numbered bones add a timeless moral depth to his work. Modern poets like Heaney are often more restrained in their use of literary allusion compared to the modernists, aiming for a gentler approach to the reader. Heaney regularly engages with other poets. Skunk reworks a poem by Robert Lowell with warmth and humanity. His volume Seeing Things explores deeply personal themes, loss of parents, marital love, and the birth of children, while delving into visionary and metaphysical questions. Seeing Things also marks a return to classical themes. The collection opens with Virgil's Golden Bough and ends with Virgil guiding Dante across the Styx, emphasizing the poet's ongoing engagement with questions of death, the afterlife, and human destiny. Heaney's interest in the sacred and the visionary sets him apart from secular modern voices like Philip Larkin, who rejected myth and focused on existential emptiness. Heaney aligns with other major poets, Geoffrey Hill, Australian Les Murray, and West Indian Derek Walcott, in affirming metaphysical and spiritual dimensions in poetry. These poets seek meaning, presence, and even divinity in a world that increasingly denies such possibilities. Their work represents a deliberate contrast to the dominant trends in academic literary criticism. Following the intellectual upheaval in France after 1968, a wave of post-Marxist thinkers emerged, deeply skeptical of metaphysics and linguistic certainty. Their influence, complex and theoretical, shaped academic criticism in the US and Britain. The result was a shift toward postmodernism, emphasizing ambiguity, fragmentation, and the rejection of any notion of the sacred. Against this background, Heaney's poetry reclaims the possibility of meaning, transcendence, and the poetic invocation of timeless truths.
11 Poems, 1965, Death of a Naturalist, 1966, Door into the Dark, 1969, North, 1975, Fieldwork, 1979, Station Island, 1980, The Hall Lantern, 1987, Seeing Things, 1991, The Spirit Level, 1996, Beowulf, 1999.